Wiggles, and it's gonna do react to it. It's pretty good. Been keeping up to date with the Dark and Darker um situation with Nexon versus Ironmace.
Derp with another update about the ongoing. Yo guys, it's Derp with another update about the ongoing court case between Ironmace and Nexon. This one is about the latest update on the Ironmace Discord, where Terrence posted this spicy bit of info about their 30-day extension. So in that update, he says, "Hello everyone. I wanted to provide a quick update on the legal situation. Our lawyers in the United States have gotten a 30-day extension before we have to respond to the lawsuit there. This is very common in U.S. courts. I wish I could share more information about our strategy, but I'll need to stay silent for a bit longer due to the sensitivity of the issue. I look forward to sharing more soon. As always, hold the line."
I actually woke up this morning and I saw this message, and I looked at the general chat, and everyone was so mad that it wasn't. I was like, "Come on, guys! Like, it's gonna come out. It's just like they're in a situation."
It's rather short, but there's a lot of information contained in that short little one paragraph, right? Uh, and it kind of affects their court case and the timeline for early access and a lot of other things. And there's also a lot of other things kind of playing into this. So I wanted to make a video about it. Before I get
I'm
started,
going for
I wanted
Iron
to
Mace.
say
I
thank you to
love Dark
everyone
and
who's
Dark.
been subscribing and joining the Discord and liking and leaving comments and everything. You guys are all helping out a ton. I've basically doubled my subscribers over the past week, and you guys are crushing it. I love you guys. You guys are rad. This is why I do this. It's kind of like a fun little hobby for me, but it's cool to see the channel grow. Um, it helps out a lot, and I've been having great conversations with you guys in the Discord, so keep asking questions. I also want to preface this video with a little disclaimer. This one is going to be a little bit different. Usually I'm as fact-based as possible. Um, this video is mostly speculation and opinion on my part. I have no insider knowledge into Ironmace or their legal.
Just to let you know, he's not a lawyer. He's got friends who are lawyers, but pretty informative.
Battle. Most of my other videos on this topic have used heavily researched court documents and expert advice. This one is kind of different. This video is my opinion based on what I know of the law and my own research. I haven't consulted with any experts yet. When I do, I will post any revisions in a follow-up video if there is any, and as necessary. And I'll add anything new information about this topic specifically to the description as I get it. So I'm kind of foregoing my usual timeline and validation due to the urgency of this matter and the direct requests I'm getting from subscribers and Discord members to talk about this matter. I haven't had any time to. I have friends who are lawyers, and I haven't really had time to consult them. I've been pretty busy today, and all this kind of happened, hours ago. So, as always, uh, question what people say, including me. I will be wrong sometimes, and you should bring it up.
Yeah, like you said, it's all speculation. You got friends who are lawyers, but he did say, you know, he kind of know he's putting a lot of work.
Ask me if I'm wrong. Let me know if I've misspoken. The last thing I want to do is spread false information, especially on a matter like a court case with tens to hundreds of millions of dollars on the line. With that said, let's get right into the video. So, what actually happened? On 6/16/23 at 6 a.m. Pacific time, a few hours after I posted my last video, the CEO of Ironmace, Terrence, posted that update on the community announcements channel in the official Dark and Darker Discord. In short, it says that they have filed their appearance and have requested a 30-day extension on the U.S. trial. It also goes into how sorry he is, and he will share more soon. So, what is the extension? Well, the extension itself is kind of exactly what it sounds like, right? It extends the time between the appearance, so yesterday on 6/16/23, and the early case conference. If you've watched my other videos, the early case conference is where they hold all the pretrial hearings. It's where they're going to decide things
Oh,
like the case,
they
like if the
forgot my
case is going to be
McNuggets.
dismissed. It's where they're going to decide the injunctions, if any, and it's going to decide the rules and timeline of the case. It's like basically where they all the lawyers go into a meeting room with the judge and they discuss uh, all the rules of the case and how long they want it to take, and they kind of have their preliminary arguments and give out as much detail as possible, and then ask the judge for certain stipulations. Right, that's the early case conference. And what the extension does is it changes that from 30 days from the appearance, so 6/16/23, up to 60 days. Essentially, it adds additional 30 up to an additional 30 days.
That a few weeks ago, everyone was so hyped up for. Everybody wants this.
So instead of the early case conference being 30 court days from 6/16/23, it will be on or before 60 days from 6/16/23, but no later than 90 days from when Ironmace was officially served on 5/30/23. It's whichever is sooner. So either 90 days from 5/30/23 or 60 days from 6/16/23, whichever comes sooner. What does this mean for the case? To put it bluntly, nobody really knows. It's everything you hear about this is going to be speculation and opinion, unless it comes directly from the courts. Iron Mace's lawyers, I would question it very heavily. All we really do know at this point is that Iron Mace felt like they needed more time to prepare for the case or to execute some sort of legal strategy.
I know it was worth a try, but I found out who the Iron Mace was. All like, what do you guys think about the situation? Didn't respond.
That they have in mind. My personal opinion, and this is 100% speculation, is that it means one of a few things. It means Iron Mace has found new sources of funding and are in a good place to fight this case, so they are buying time to spend with their lawyers and their growing legal team and prep for their U.S. and now Korean legal cases. This is the most likely scenario in my opinion because of new information. I've kind of changed my opinion on this. This is the most likely scenario in my opinion, um, because of the Korean court case and other factors which I'll go into later. Or it can mean that Iron Mace is close to being out of money and is buying time to raise funds somehow. This is also rather common for companies that are on like a really tight or shoestring budget. So they might be
30-day extension, so the lawyers get paid more.
trying to raise money through early access, like a paid early access or a GoFundMe, more investors, or some other form of income. We don't know how that would look. It could be a combination of like a GoFundMe plus a playtest, right? We have no idea. But they might be buying time to raise money. So the problem right away, the problem with speculating on this is that we really don't know where Iron Mace is financially or what their lawyers are saying. I can assume, based on previous conversations with IP and corporate lawyers, that they are being advised to do some mixture of both of the above. They're probably being advised to find new funding and to spend that money on time with their lawyers to prepare for two simultaneous legal battles. Obviously, lawyers want to get paid, and they have a growing
Two
legal
legal
team. Their legal
battle.
team is probably saying, "Hey, you guys are going to need a shit ton of money. Uh, go out there and fundraise however you can, but be smart about it, right?" And they're going to say, "We want as much time as possible to prepare for this because Nexon has an amazing legal team." So, with that said, what does that say about early access? It's kind of difficult to say, especially from a facts-based standpoint. We don't have a lot of facts. This is going to be mostly opinion. So my opinion is that releasing early access right now is a terrible idea and should be saved as kind of a last resort. If they have exhausted all other options and need money right now, it is certainly an option, as is a GoFundMe or another form of playtest. Any mixture of these things is really possible. They could release an early access tomorrow, for all I know. But after sifting through all the legal filings from Iron Mace and their appearance today, I really don't think that's their plan. Um, my reasoning behind that is because they've recently expanded their legal team from one attorney to three or more. So far
I like.
today, just today, they've added two new attorneys to their legal team.
I was actually looking at their legal team, the one in not the one in Korea, but the one in America. Like he's got a lot of accolades. Like he's really good, a lot of awards, and he seems really passionate about that, IP stuff. So can't can't think of it. What I can't think of it on top of my. Ironmace has got a good.
And two of the three attorneys have already been approved. These attorneys are Aaron J. Moss, who's been approved, Joshua M. Geller, who's been
Aaron J. Moss,
approved,
yeah,
and Emily G. Avazian. So to me, this move, along with the reporting
this guy Aaron J. Moss, like
from
he's
Korea
good.
that they have recently found new sources of private angel investment, signal that they have enough money to fight this out in a serious way.
For those who don't know, angel investment is like investment that's like from a from like a private company, not even from a company, from a person, private company.
At least until the early case conference and until the civil case in Korea is resolved. So let's think about this realistically. I mean, you just don't triple the size of your legal team if you don't have any money. That's not a smart move. If you're strapped for cash enough to basically violate a, not really an agreement, but a norm of a court case and move forward with a product that's currently under legal legal sanctions or legal action from the U.S. and Korean courts, to release that. If you move forward and do something like release EA and charge for it, that would be a signal that you're kind of out of money, right? So, and if they're tripling the size of their legal
I didn't think
team
of that.
and Korean news agencies, which admittedly are somewhat untrustworthy, but if they're saying that they have received recent investment, then they also follow it up by hiring more lawyers. I think that can be kind of verified, right? Not verified in full, but it's kind of obvious that they got money from somewhere. With that said, I don't really think that early access is going to come out anytime soon. That is, unless they desperately need the funding as soon as possible, and I'm wrong that they've
Something I don't want to
got a bunch
hear.
of money somehow. Um, what I do think will happen is that they hold off for now, try to raise more funds through investment, possibly post another playtest alongside a GoFundMe. Don't charge money directly for the playtest, but hold a GoFundMe and do a playtest just to try to keep people active and meet expectations. And that's if
Please,
they
a play
have no
test,
other
please.
alternatives. Paid release of early access would be a huge signal that they aren't doing well and can't secure any funding. And in my opinion, it's a last resort and pretty much the worst possible outcome. So early access would be bad? Question mark. This is kind of a hot topic on the Discord and the subreddit right now. We all want Dark and Darker to come out. Come out. We want Dad to come home as soon as possible, right? We're worried about never seeing Dad again. I get it. I really do. Uh, but we kind of have to think of this from IM standpoint. Iron Mace is in a multi-million to hundred of million dollar lawsuit with Nexon. The last thing they really want to do is upset two court systems by releasing early access while they're still under civil suits. And one of their founders is currently fighting a criminal case. Not only does it jeopardize their
Yeah.
case, Iron Mace's cases, but it puts the consumers at risk. Uh,
Imagine if
should
Nexon
they release
keeps.
early access and end up losing the fight for the Korean and U.S. injunctions, there is a very real possibility that early access would then be shut down. There's even a possibility that everyone who purchased early access would have to wait until the case was settled or concluded to receive a refund. The idea of taking such a big risk should scare the heck out of Iron Mace and be an absolute last resort, at least in my opinion. It's really an all or nothing gambit, right? However, with that said, I do think that should it come to it, Iron Mace should release early access if they absolutely need to. I personally would rather them go down swinging and risk everything instead of giving up and disappearing quietly into the night. But at the end of the day, we all kind of need to realize that, you know, a man's life has already been ruined by this. Mr. Choi has been fighting a criminal case for 2 years now. He's lost almost everything and is still fighting for freedom to stay out of prison. Should he lose his court case in Korea, he could face a multi-year prison sentence. There's also millions and millions of dollars on the line for Ironmace, as well as the future of their game studio. These people are pretty much sacrificing everything so that we can have a fun game to play. So, sure,
Terrence Choi, he knows like what it's like being a gamer. I'll show an interview that was like
they will earn a ton of money if they win because the game
it was
rules,
good.
but that's not
Wants to
without
play video.
really what amounts to a fight for their life. These things, will play out kind of how they play out. And in the meantime, I think we should all be patient, and I'll do my best to keep everybody up to date. For now, all we can really do is have a little bit of patience, hold the line for at least a little bit longer. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys like the video. I'm trying to keep it shorter and stick to the point. I'm also working on getting a new mic and possibly a camera. I tested my phone as a camera. It didn't really work out too well. If you want to help with the channel, please like, subscribe, and show the video to everyone you can. Blast it on Reddit, blast it in Discord. There's also my Patreon and my own Discord server. Joining either of those helps me tremendously. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the day. I'll see you guys in the dungeon. Peace.
Peace. Anyway, so yeah, Derp Wiggles, give him a subscribe. Give him really is putting a lot of like gathering as much as he can.
Restock the
Iron Mace. Sorry, I can't talk. And I'm gonna show you an interview. That's Terrence right there.
Our location. We're located in. I'm actually like somewhere in the middle now, so that kind of shows you how much experience or how much veteran experience our team has. And so we noticed it definitely like during those 15, 20 years how the industry has been changing and how like the business models have been more exploitive, I guess. And so to us is okay, that kind of disturbed us. And we wanted to try to do something where it's kind of more like a love song and a passion. It definitely is a passion project, but kind of going back to like the old style games that we played when we were growing up. So like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, the games that we played with. And a lot of that, back then there was no such thing as like microtransactions and it was just like, okay, what kind of, like, we played a lot of hardcore online shooting games, and it was just like, there was no Steam back then either, right?
It was like Half-Life, Unreal Tournament, Quake days. Like, honestly, exactly. I always felt like that was the gold mine of like gaming, because it was, with the modding, everyone used to do lots of modding stuff, and it was just, every day they'd be like, oh, have you downloaded this?
I never played Quake.
This mod, there was like Team Fortress Classic, and then there was like Defeat, Natural Selection. There was so many fun mods in those eras, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's actually like a lot of our history is from those kind of days. So like I think the last there was an interview we did with D-Trek, the DLC guys, and then they asked us about the fall damage. And so our eventual goal is to make the Dark and Darker world more grounded and stuff. But to us, it was fun to not put in fall damage right now, just because we played so much Counter-Strike, when we were back then.
Yeah.
It was just like all the crazy weird things you did because you didn't have fall damage in Counter-Strike. That was just like,
I do like no fall damage.
Oh, this is our little Easter egg too, because we love Counter-Strike so much. And so because we felt like the direction, this is a year and a half ago, and we weren't comfortable with how we felt like the direction of the Korean game industry was going. And so we decided, okay, let's kind of do something about it then, instead of just complaining about it, over coffee and stuff. And so that's when we took that risk to say, okay, we feel like if we band together and we have enough experience, and then we could figure out something that people will enjoy and that could capture that. So the thing we always talk about is games just have its own soul. And what we were feeling were a lot of the newer games that were coming out they were missing that soul. And so what we wanted to do was, okay, let's start with the soul of the game first and build something, even if it's janky, even if, you know, like the first production, you know, first impression with the production quality is not the best, but instead of just like style over substance, we wanted to start with the actual soul of the game. And so
Exactly. Like even like games these days, like he said, like it has no substance. I tried playing Harry Potter, and it's like I've played these games before. It's repetitive and everything, and then it just wasn't that good. But when I played Dock and Daka, it was just like the gameplay is amazing, and it does have like not the state of the art graphics, but it can actually be. You don't need the best graphics; you just need good game. Like it needs to be, and yeah, like props to him. He's a gamer. He doesn't go to jail. Releases the game soon. Makes a ton of money. This guy was gonna be the next CEO of Nexon, I heard. But anyways. And this is from